Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name's GBay99, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video, this one talking about League of Legends and its longevity both as a game and an esport. League of Legends is an awesome game that's growing every day. MOBA games in general have this seemingly perfect combination of elements that can hook newcomers, getting them quickly addicted to its formula, while still keeping veterans around for years and years through deep gameplay and a large amount of evolving content. Everything that League has to offer has led to this gigantic user base of nearly 70 million monthly active players as of January, probably even more now. However, as great and popular as it is, League is not a perfect game. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that there's another game out there that's better than League, or that League sucks because its community is bad or whatever. I simply mean that no game is perfect, and other games out there are going to provide different experiences that League doesn't. So, for instance, in Counter-Strike, you get put under an immense amount of pressure when you're the last man alive going up against 3 or 4 opponents, and you have the rest of your team watching you as you try to clutch out a win for the round. There are very few games out there that can put that kind of pressure and excitement on a player, so some people will play Counter-Strike to get that sort of rush if they want to. The point of this is to say some people will occasionally stray away from League of Legends. Maybe they don't like a recent balance change, or maybe they're bored of the game, or maybe they just want to experience something else in the gaming market like Counter-Strike or whatever other game that they end up going to. The interesting thing about League, though, is this game has such a huge competitive scene that regardless if a fan plays or not, chances are they'll still want to watch their favorite team play every week in the LCS, which leads back to the title of this video: do you watch more League than you play, or play more League than you watch? If you play more than you watch, that's fine. Most people do, and if you specifically have only been playing for a year or maybe less, chances are there's still so much for you to discover and immerse yourself in that you'll continue playing more than you watch, and that's fine. However, there are a number of people who spend more time watching the game than they do playing. People I know personally, and others who are seen on Reddit or the general forums. The reason people keep watching could be attributed to the fact that this game is just a good competitive event, but I think it has a decent amount to do with the way that Riot is letting the competitive scene excel, specifically with setting up official leagues that play every single week. It's super interesting to see an esports title being structured like a traditional sport the way the LCS has been, where instead of having to win a large amount of money at a once-in-a-while tournament, teams are competing against each other in regular seasons with players on salaries, which leads up to a World Finals every year. It may be a bit frustrating to not see international competitive play as often as we used to, but having players on salaries, teams facing off in weekly matches, and a very intelligently structured league gives the game hope that there may be some longevity in the world of esports and the world of sports in general for this title. The thing that shocks me the most, which sort of gave me the idea for this little video and discussion, was how people who follow the League of Legends competitive scene are beginning to look more and more like traditional sports fans who follow American football or association football or whatever other established traditional sport there is out there. For example, take a look at the middle-class American dad who loves gridiron football. He's a fan of the sport. He probably played it when he was younger, either in his backyard with friends or maybe in high school and college. He could have had a dream of playing in the NFL himself, but even though his life went down a different direction, he always held the sport near and dear to his heart, enough so to tune in every Sunday and watch his local football team compete. That sounds a lot like a lot of the people who are watching League more than they play. They've already played the game a lot, often looking to the competitive scene. Maybe they wanted to go pro, but they didn't fall in love with the game enough so to make it a part of their daily life. Eventually, playing the game themselves may have gotten tiresome or difficult with real life and other things out there, but the thrill of competition is enough to keep them watching rivals battle it out each week in the LCS. Maybe I'm looking too much into this, but I feel like Riot is doing an incredibly smart job of setting up their game to last for a number of years as an esport. Nobody knows what the future is going to look like, of course, and after however many years, it's completely possible that League will start to decline in popularity, or at least stagnate a bit, but regardless of its future, Riot is doing something that other competitive games should really look up to. Instead of throwing all their money at one single tournament or focusing too much on the near future, they're doing something that will have a very real opportunity of establishing the next big thing, an esport that will be played for possibly decades to come, all in a much more structured and professional environment than we've ever seen before. This game is already garnering a larger viewer base than a number of other traditional sports out there, and with a more and more professional structure that's looking more and more similar to those already established, League could have a very long and bright future ahead ahead of itself, both as a game and an esport. If Riot can keep us watching the competitive scene for years and years, then there's no reason that League won't continue to look more and more like a traditional sport and continue increasing in popularity. Even if it does eventually stagnate or begin declining, Riot has shown us what it takes to bring an esport to the same level as any other competitive event out there. League has come a very long way and will continue going on very far forward if we keep on integrating it more and more into our daily lives the way we have been, whether it's playing the game ourselves, watching the LCS every week, or even just updating our fantasy leagues. Anyway though, those are just my thoughts and opinions on this topic. I was hoping to share them with you since this was something that's been on my mind recently. Be sure to leave me a comment telling me what you think about all this and whether you agree or disagree, and of course why. Esports doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon, and Riot is doing a really good job of continuing to establish credibility for a fantastic competitive scene to come. If you guys want to watch more of my videos, you can click right there to check out a few. Don't forget to follow my Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch stream, and of course, thank you very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.